Hello and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 26 deal sheet video with me, Holly Shand. This episode is coming slightly earlier in the week because I'm saving my transfer plans and team selection until later in the week because we've got a busy week of midweek fixtures once again. We've got 4 Premier League sides involved in the end of double game week 25, as well as 9 Premier League sides involved in the FA Cup. The results of the games midweek will let us know exactly how blank game week 28 looks like, especially if Liverpool and Fulham get a fixture in there, and we'll also have a good idea of how blank game week 32 will look after Wednesday's fixtures. So that's all going to be really useful in helping us decide on our chip strategy going forwards. Potentially a wild card in game week 26 is on the plan cards, but as always, please do not make early transfers. The picture will be a lot clearer on Wednesday and Thursday, which will help us with our transfer plans for this week. Let's get into it. Looking at defenders then, and on the buy list is Brighton's Estupiñán, who's one of the form defenders over the last few game weeks. Brighton have kept 3 clean sheets in 5, and the attractive element here is that Brighton have 2 upcoming double game weeks in 27 and 29. That is going to be sandwiched between probably a blank game week 28. So it is one that if you're planning a free hit for that week is going to be even more useful. But with those doubles coming and his attacking potential, he is a really good transfer in. He's got 3 assists in his last 4 games and he's second for goal involvements this season among defenders with 5. On the monitor list is another player with 2 double game weeks coming up in the next 4. It's Brentford's Ben Mee. Brentford have also kept 3 clean sheets in their last 5 games, and among defenders, Mee is top for goals this season with 3, which just demonstrates what he can give us for our fantasy sides. Moving on to the sell list, and I was really surprised to see that Spurs' Ivan Perisic is still the 5th most owned defender in the game. He hasn't started either of the last 2 games, and that's coincided with Spurs wingbacks really performing, including Emerson Royal and Ben Davies, who seems to have displaced Perisic now. Remember, Sessegnon is involved there too, so I can't see many starts for Perisic in the upcoming schedule. Even though Spurs have looked really good with 2 clean sheets on the bounce, now is unfortunately the time to sell. Into the midfield then, and on the buy list is Brighton's Kaoru Mitoma. He's a player that a few of us may have avoided in the last few weeks because of the blank in game week 25, but now that's out the way, we've got 2 double game weeks in the next 4, so he's a really important pick for our FPL squad. And since the restart, he's 5th among midfielders for points per game with 6, and he's 4th among midfielders for XG with 3.12, and he could be a potential captain pick in that double game week 27. On the monitor list is Manchester City's Riyad Mahrez. He's been a fantastic FPL asset for us since the restart. 3rd for goal involvements with 9, but he's been on the bench in the last 2 games. This has coincided with a return to Champions League action for Manchester City, and that's going to be crucial for his potential in FPL going forward. We've got a couple of weeks left until that second leg against RB Leipzig. It's currently a 1-1 draw at the moment, with Man City having the home leg, so they are still favourites to progress in the Champions League. But when he took the last spot kick for Man City, we really don't want to lose Mahrez unless we actually need to, so stick him on the monitor list, give him another couple of games, and if it's still not looking great for him in terms of minutes, consistency of starts, if Haaland takes the next pen, then it's time to jump off. On the sell list is Newcastle United's Miguel Almiron. He's still in almost a quarter of teams despite having a blank last week, and he's had a massive drop-off in form since the restart. He's only got 2 attacking returns in his last 8 games. 2 goals have come from 4 shots on target and 12 shots on goal in total in that time. Moving on to forwards then, and on the buy list, Harry Kane is back. He was sold by nearly 250,000 managers ahead of blank and double game week 25, and he punished them with a goal against Chelsea. He's got great fixtures in the next 2 against Wolves and Nottingham Forest, and he could really be a very good captain pick in game week 26 with Manchester City at home to Newcastle United. He's having his best ever season in FPL. He's never had 2 consecutive blanks in 2 consecutive game weeks, which is just phenomenal. And he scored in a reverse fixture against Wolves as well. So if you did sell him, you absolutely need to be finding a route back to him because he's fixture proof. He should be in everyone's team. The only reason he isn't is because Haaland is having a phenomenal season, possibly the best ever FPL season we've seen from a player in the history of the game. On the monitor list is Brentford's Ivan Toney, another player with a double game week 27 and 29. The only reason I wouldn't buy him this week is that he's on 8 yellow cards. Should he get a yellow card in game week 26, then there's the threat that he could miss one of his double game week 27 fixtures through suspension, because 10 yellow cards will equate to a 2-game suspension. So that's something that we need to bear in mind. We have seen a dip in form from Toney over recent game weeks. Just 2 goals in his last 5. They've come from 2 big chances and only 5 shots on target. But should he manage to get through game week 26 without picking up a yellow card, then he's going to be among the top captain picks for double game week 27. So that's one just to monitor. I think unless you're on a wild card this week, you can give it one more week before bringing him on board. On the sell list is Liverpool's Darwin Núñez. Those managers that sold Kane for Núñez this week will be cursing because he missed the first game against Crystal Palace through injury. We haven't got firm news of whether he'll make the midweek game for Liverpool, but with that potential injury and the lack of form, I don't think he's a player you want to be holding, especially with Manchester United up next. 16 forwards have scored more points than Darwin Núñez since the restart, and he could lose his place in the team anyway, with lots of personnel returning to Liverpool's attack and his patchy form. He's scored just 1 goal from 9 big chances since the restart. As I said at the top then, do hold on to those transfers, but if you have got any transfer dilemmas ahead of the game week 26 deadline, do get in the comments. I try and answer all of your questions within 24 hours of the video going live. I'll be back with some sort of transfer plans / team selection video on Wednesday, where I could potentially have hit the wildcard button. It all depends on if Liverpool have a fixture or not in game week 28. So look out for that one. Bye for now.